Alright guys, we're at the Grand Canyon.
Yes, that's the Grand Canyon back there. Hopefully you can see with the bright sun out there today. It's quite beautiful. So these are questions we get asked, and we get asked a lot. While you start.
First one, how often do we travel? Well, as much as possible, but so I would say we're 3/4 time travelers. So we do have a home base that we go and kind of recuperate, usually last anywhere from a month to 3 months, maybe even longer. When we were doing renovations to our home base, it was a bit longer, but we come and go. It just depends on what's going on. Obviously COVID has changed a lot of things. Depends on what's going on in our personal lives, and of course we love to just be able to stay in one spot once in a while and just kind of recoup and recover from all our travels.
The next question, is it difficult managing such a small space? Actually, no. At first it was, but when you start downsizing, you realize that less is more. And so our entire life pretty much sits in my truck and our trailer.
And once you start traveling, you do realize that some of these things are just not necessary. When we first started traveling, oh my goodness, we had so much supplies and so much stuff, and we didn't need that much stuff. We realized we had a lot of things for just in case, and it didn't take us long to realize we're never that far from a store or supplies or even a friendly neighbor, at a campground. Sometimes we've been the one to share supplies, and sometimes they've been the ones to share supplies. So we realized that, we got to cover our necessities, food and water. Our basic needs really need to be the main focus, and everything else is just a luxury and it's not always necessary. All right, here's another one.
Okay, so this is my question. So the inside of our trailer is only about, what would you say, 5 foot?
No, are you talking width?
No, how tall is it?
Oh, 5'8".
5'8".
Yes.
So yeah, the inside of our trailer is 5'8". I am 6'3", so I'm slunched. I'm sitting up. Big difference right now. So most of the stuff that I do in the trailer, I'll do sitting down. I can get dressed in the trailer, no problem. I do have to kind of cock my head to the side when I'm standing up, putting on my leg. For those of you that don't know, I am an amputee. But yes, I am 6'3", and I manage quite well. I can sleep north to south in our trailer, or I can sleep, which we currently do, east to west. So that should pretty much answer that one.
That's usually our biggest question. How does he get in there?
Yes, that is our biggest question. How do you get in there? How do you fit? I fit quite easily, actually. It's roomier on the inside than it looks on the outside.
Yeah, like Doctor Who.
Pretty much.
Oh, how have we not killed each other yet?
What makes you think you're not talking to a ghost?
Ha 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 ha. One of the...
We are at the Grand Canyon. There is a big cliff behind us.
No, we are at the edge. So
no, yeah, we pretty much are at the edge. I don't know if you can see that or not. The edge is like, I don't know, 6 feet from us.
I think I'll keep you around.
Oh, fine.
No, we have not killed each other yet. Biggest two things is respect and communication. Those are our two biggest ways to make this work. We have respect for one another. We know and can tell, oh yeah, you need some time to yourself. I'll go take a walk, or you want to stay back and I'll go do this. Yeah, so we work with each other as far as respecting what the other can and what they want to do.
And like any successful marriage, communication is definitely the key.
So yeah, so I have to be able to say, you know, honey, I don't want to do that today. You know, or yeah, honey, let's go do this. Like, it's really important to me.
Our next question is, what does your trailer weigh and what can tow it? Okay, so when we bought the trailer, we bought it from a private party in New York, and we successfully towed it back with our Town and Country. We had a 2013 Town and Country originally.
We took it on a couple trips actually
we did.
with that.
We did, but that was terrifying on the way back because Town and Country front wheel drive pushes weight on the back, lifts front tires up. Yes, that was a little nerve-wracking in the rain.
Yeah.
But it successfully towed it, and it was quite comfortable. The next vehicle we towed it with was a 2005 Ford F-150. I didn't even realize the trailer was back there. So just so you know, the trailer only weighs about 1,700 pounds empty. With all of our stuff in it, probably weighs 2,200 pounds. Right now, we currently tow it with a 2021 Chevy Silverado, which you probably have seen in another video.
It does really well.
It does really well. We
really
don't notice it. Oh, I did. Did I mention the Cherokee?
No, you didn't mention.
No, I didn't mention. So we towed it prior to my Chevy Silverado. We towed it with a 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which did quite well. But once we got that Cherokee in the heat, like in the desert areas, it just didn't. The Cherokee didn't seem to like the heat. That's part of the reason why we bought the truck. But when I did tow it with the Cherokee, it actually was very comfortable.
It was a little more noisy because you don't have the bed of the truck to
buffer out the sound.
Yeah, so it was a little more noisy, which every once in a while would make me a little nervous, but it did okay. I think the truck is way more capable and much more enjoyable to ride with the trailer. Okay, where do we camp at? All right, well, everywhere that we can. Boondocking is our favorite, which boondocking is when you're pretty much on available use land. So a lot of times it's like
Bureau of Land Management or land trusts,
things like that. And you get out there and you have no electricity, no services, no nothing, but you're spaced out. Most people respect to have a little more space because that's the point of it. It's called dispersed camping. Also, so that we loved because it's just kind of a peaceful thing. We especially loved a few different places that we've stayed, especially in Arizona, the desert, and so on. Those are just key places for that sort of thing. But other places we've stayed at all range of things. We stayed at Cracker Barrels and Walmarts. Not fabulous, but it's sometimes you got to do what you have to do. During the the height of the COVID back in April of 2020, we had to drive across country because our grandson was being born and we needed to be there. And it was a scary time. So we just slept at Cracker Barrel and made our way across the country. And that was the best we could do. But there's also things like, state campgrounds, regional campgrounds, which are very affordable. KOAs are not affordable, but definitely very comfortable.
Yes.
But if you know you're going to be somewhere for a length of time, don't be afraid to ask about a monthly rate at RV parks and campgrounds because we've discovered they usually have one.
Just because they don't advertise it doesn't mean they don't have it.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a whole range of things. It depends on what our need is. If we are just free as a bird, yeah, we're going to boondock if we can. If we have other responsibilities that maybe tie us to a bigger city, well, yeah, we're going to see if we could do an RV park. like us right now, we're at the Grand Canyon, so we were in an organized campground.
We are an organized campground, but it is there is no hookup. We do have water, but we have to hike for it. But we don't have any electricity, none of those type of amenities. We don't have a sewer hookup. We do have a bathroom that's nearby us that we're allowed to use. But this is, this is kind of like the middle point of, boondocking and organized camping.
Yeah. So, okay, next one is, our first impressions. I've got this because I had it so wrong. So our first impressions of going out, we're gonna camp all the time, and we're gonna, we originally were like, we were really packed up pretty much everything. We put some stuff in storage, really important keepsakes, but that we had what we had on our backs at the time, so that was it. And we were gonna full time it until we figured out where we wanted to have a home base. So at first I was like, wow, we're gonna save so much money because we no longer have all these bills, the things that you need in a brick and mortar. I'm like, we're gonna save a ton of money.
Nope.
Very quickly I figured out that no, it doesn't, not like that. We were not prepared, first of all, for like boondocking, which typically doesn't cost anything up to a few dollars for a pass. No, we were staying at campgrounds, and I thought, well, we're doing great. We're only spending $20 a month. No, because we thought, well, $20 a month. Yeah, we've got showers to use. We don't have to pay a water bill. We don't have to pay that. But after a while, it definitely started adding up. Then we added in the gas to get from one location to the next, and it really got expensive. And in the end, we've realized that we're not really saving any money. We're just living differently. So, yeah, we're spending out about the same as we would in a brick and mortar. So, it depends on people's comfort level. If they're good with boondocking without a shower for 5 days, then go for it. Save yourself a few dollars. But if you're more like, oh, I need to have these things. I need to have electricity. I need to have my favorite TV shows at night. I need to have these things on, yeah, it's going to cost you. So
there are ways to lower those costs by staying on Bureau of Land Management, land trusts, so on. You can save a little bit of money that way, depending on the type of setup you have, your supplies that you carry with you. But that would be about the only way I could see really saving, is just not going into an organized campground.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes we need it and we have to, and sometimes we don't.